Sometimes the most important seasons of our lives are the ones no one sees, the quiet seasons. The seasons when nothing seems to be happening. No applause, no recognition, no visible progress. Just waiting, just praying, just trusting. And in those moments, it can feel like life has slowed down while everyone else keeps moving forward. You watch others succeed. You watch doors open for them. You watch their lives seem to grow while yours feels hidden, and you begin to wonder something quietly in your heart. God, what are you doing in my life? Why does it feel like nothing is happening? But the truth is something many people don't realize. Some of the greatest work God does in our lives happens in the seasons no one sees. The hidden seasons. Because before God elevates a person publicly, He often develops them privately. Before the fruit appears on the tree, the roots must grow deep beneath the soil. And roots grow in hidden places. The Bible is filled with stories of people who spent long seasons growing in quiet places before stepping into the purpose God had for them. Take David, for example. When people think of David, they often think of the giant he defeated. The young shepherd boy who faced Goliath with courage and faith. But what many people forget is that David spent years in obscurity before that moment ever came. Before the battlefield. There were the fields, before the crown. There were the sheep, David was a shepherd. Day after day he watched over animals in the wilderness. There were no crowds watching him, no applause, no recognition, just quiet days in open fields. But those hidden years were not wasted. Because while David was alone in the fields, something powerful was happening. He was learning to trust God. He was learning courage. He was learning to worship. Many of the Psalms that inspire millions today were born in those quiet moments. Psalm 23 begins with the words, "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want." Those words came from a young shepherd who understood what it meant to guide and protect sheep. David didn't know it at the time, but God was preparing him. The quiet fields were shaping the future king. The hidden season was building the strength he would need later. And when the day came for David to face Goliath, he didn't suddenly discover courage. That courage had already been growing in the hidden places. In 1 Samuel 17, David told King Saul something remarkable. He said, "Your servant used to keep sheep for his father. And when there came a lion or a bear and took a lamb from the flock, I went after him and struck him." Those battles with lions and bears happened far away from the public eye. No crowds witnessed them. But those unseen victories prepared David for the giant everyone would see. Sometimes the quiet seasons of life are not empty seasons. They are training seasons. God is building something within you that will be needed later. Joseph experienced a hidden season like this too. When Joseph was young, God gave him dreams about his future. Dreams that one day he would rise to leadership. But those dreams did not come true quickly. Instead, Joseph's life took a difficult turn. His brothers betrayed him. They sold him into slavery. He was taken far away from home. Then later he was falsely accused and thrown into prison. Years passed in those dark places. Years when it seemed like Joseph's life had been forgotten. But prison became Joseph's hidden season. A place where his character was refined. A place where his faith was tested. A place where God quietly prepared him for something far greater. Joseph could not see the future, but God could, and one day the doors of that prison opened. Joseph was brought before Pharaoh, and suddenly the young man who had once been a prisoner became a leader over Egypt. Looking back, Joseph would later say something that reveals the mystery of those hidden years. In Genesis 50-20, he told his brothers, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Even in the hidden seasons, God was working. Even in the quiet places, God was preparing something greater. And this pattern appears again and again in Scripture. Even Jesus experienced a hidden season. For 30 years, Jesus lived in relative obscurity. Think about that for a moment. 30 years, the Son of God lived an ordinary life. He worked as a carpenter. He lived quietly. There were no crowds following him yet, no miracles recorded, no sermons preached to thousands. Just quiet, ordinary life. Then suddenly, around the age of 30, his public ministry began. In only 3 years, Jesus would transform history. But those 3 years were built upon 30 years of quiet preparation. The hidden season came before the visible mission. And this is something we often struggle to accept. Because our world celebrates visibility. We admire the stage, the spotlight, the recognition. But God often works differently. God develops people in hidden places. He shapes character before calling. He builds humility before influence. He deepens faith before responsibility. The hidden season is where roots grow. And deep roots are what allow a tree to stand strong during storms. Without deep roots, the tree may grow quickly, but it cannot stand when the winds come. In the same way, God sometimes slows our journey so that our foundation becomes stronger. James 1-4 says, "Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing." Perseverance grows in quiet seasons. Patience grows in hidden seasons. Faith grows in hidden seasons. And sometimes we only understand the purpose of those seasons when we look back. Years later, after the waiting, after the preparation, we begin to see how every moment was shaping us. Every delay was teaching us. Every quiet day was strengthening something inside us. So if you ever feel like your life is in a hidden season, a quiet season where nothing seems to be happening, remember this. Seeds grow underground before they ever break through the soil. And the most important growth often happens where no one can see it. God may be doing something deep within you right now, something that will only become visible later. Because the quiet seasons are not empty, they are sacred. They are the places where God prepares hearts, builds faith, and shapes the people He will use in ways they never imagined. And one day, when the season changes, you may realize that the quiet moments were not delays at all. They were the beginning of something greater God was preparing all along. This is the real God. This is the real us. This is God in us.